Hey everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to hire an SEO expert. I'm recording this video today because I was recently introduced to a lovely lady in America who had been spending about $600 to $800 per month on her SEO agency. And when I asked her about basic questions about her campaign, she had no idea. Now, she's a really brave, courageous, amazing founder in America doing some really cool things. But it worried me that she had so little knowledge about what was going on in her SEO campaign. So I helped her out and I went a bit deeper into her analytics and I started asking a few more questions about what the agency were doing. And once I started to get a bit more information about what she was getting for the $600 to $800 that she was paying per month, I was shocked. I was actually really sad because this was just another case of an agency absolutely ripping someone off in the SEO industry. They were literally doing nothing. There was barely any analytics set up. There was no transparency, and it was very opaque about what they were actually doing. And it was clear that she hired the wrong person and she didn't have enough knowledge to hire the right person. She didn't actually know how to hire a really good SEO expert. So that was the motivation for this video. I'm going to talk about 5 key things that I feel anyone should be thinking about and doing before they hire an SEO expert. And actually, I think some of these principles can be applied to any type of hiring across different verticals in the marketing industry. You could even use some of these points to think about hiring agencies with copywriting and design and UX or development or whatever it could be. So, some general tips around, hiring agencies, but also some SEO specific ones. Let's get straight into it. So number 1 is understand what you want. And I know that sounds really easy because you're probably sitting there thinking, well, I need SEO. Now, yes, I get that, but actually you need to go a bit deeper. You need to go slightly deeper and understand within SEO, what do I need? Do I need content? Do I need links? Do I need a strategy? Do I need an audit? Do I need technical help? What is it do I need help with? Because certain agencies and certain experts are better the various elements of SEO. So you do need to have some sort of understanding about what you want. And it's totally fine to be in the camp where you're a new founder, a new business, new website. You know you need to do SEO, but you just have no clue about what you want. In that case, almost always you need to start with a strategy. So if you are in that situation right now, please don't just jump straight to links, content, technicals, etc., etc. If you have no idea what to do and you're day one, you need a strategy. So you need to go and find someone that can help you put together an SEO strategy. Because once you have the strategy and you work with someone who you can trust that will build that strategy for you, the rest will come into place. You will then know, okay, cool, now I need links, now I need content, now I need my technicals to be looked after. So without your strategy, you wouldn't know what you want. So if you're a day one founder, start with a strategy. If you've already got a strategy, then refer to your strategy. What does your strategy say? That will tell you what you need and where you need to look for some expertise. Okay, so number 2 is get smart. When you're hiring for a specialist position and a technical position like SEO, then you need to understand the basics. So hopefully by this point, you've got an SEO strategy in place and you can hold a conversation with someone regarding SEO. You don't need to know every single detail about SEO and how to grow it, because obviously that's why you're looking for an expert. But you should have a basic understanding, right? And the basic elements of SEO are you need a strategy, you need good content, you need consistent content, you need to look after your technical foundations, and you need to build authority with backlinks. These 5 things are kind of the crux of SEO. So you should at least know that. You should at least be able to speak to someone about SEO and ask them questions about, what are you going to do in the strategy? What are you going to do in the technicals? What are you going to do in my content? What about links? So just have a quick Google, watch some of my videos, read about it, speak to people, fill out my form. And that should allow you to have a conversation with an expert and at least be able to portray to them that you know what you're talking about. Because what you don't want to do is come across as someone that has no clue. And if you have a big budget, people will typically rinse you, right? That's unfortunately how many people operate. It's not something I advocate for, and I frankly hate it. But some people do that. They exploit people. They've got a bit of cash and have no idea about what they want, and they have no idea about the topic. So go into the negotiation, go into the consultation with a bit of knowledge, and make sure that you show them that you can't be messed around with, because you do know the basics. Okay, so number 3 is you actually need to decide, do you want an agency or do you want a freelancer as your SEO expert? Because both are really good and both can serve a purpose. The way that I like to think about whether or not you need an agency or a freelancer actually depends on how much hand-holding and how much support you need to progress your goals. Because typically with an agency, you can actually get amazing results with an agency. If you find the right one, they'll scale you. I know a ton of really, really good agencies that work really well, and you can get amazing results. What they typically won't do as much as freelancers is they won't give you super granular, detailed, 24 hours constant service and reassurance and communication. Of course, good agencies will check in on a weekly basis. They'll give you a monthly report, but typically, they would have allocated X amount of time. They can work with you and speak to you, and they, bucket it towards client relations. And they typically don't want to go above that because they've got quite a lot of clients. Their business is all about, having a high gross margin and making sure that they don't over allocate their time to certain clients. So you wouldn't get as much level of support from them, but that's not to say that you won't get the results. So you need to really understand whether or not you're fine with getting someone on board. They're good at what they do, trusting them to get on with the job and not pestering them every single day, for 50 updates, and just letting them get on with it and trusting that over time, the results will go in the right direction. Or you may be the person where you actually need a bit more support, and that's completely fine. You may want to learn about the topic. You may be curious. You may have, money that you're spending maybe, significant to you. And obviously you're a bit scared about parting with that capital. So you probably need a bit more reassurance on a regular basis that things are happening, they're going in the right direction. And typically freelancers can probably give you that level of support. So have a think about that, whether it's agency or freelancer. The other thing is to think about is budget. Typically agencies are a lot more expensive than freelancers. And if your budget is tight, then it could be a good idea to start off with a freelancer, put the strategy in place, get you going. And then as the traffic grows, as leads grow, as sales grow, and you become more profitable, you can maybe then migrate to an agency who can scale you further with a bigger budget, and they've got a bit more data as well to learn from, and they can get started a bit quicker. So I think the two main things on agency and freelancer when you're thinking about an SEO expert is really how much support do you need and what does your budget look like? Okay, so number 4 is the track record of the SEO expert that you're having a discussion with. Whether that is an agency or a freelancer, you really want to understand what they've done with previous clients or their own websites. And what you want to ask them is, can you give me a screenshot or a snippet of the Google Search Console for that client? I want to see what the organic traffic was looking like when you came on board, what the traffic was like as you grew them. And you want to really see how many clicks are coming from Google. That's probably the main metric that you want to look at. Another thing to really note here is when you're looking at the track record and you're looking at the case study of the client, you need to really think about what stage was that client at and what budget did that client have? Because typically what agencies will do, or any expert really, even freelancers, they will show you case studies that could be of a really, really big brand that already had huge budget, an amazing platform to start with. And actually growing it was quite simple because they had huge budget. They could pump out a ton of content. There was a huge team, and this agency came on board to scale them, and they had all the resources in the world, and scaling was actually quite easy. If you're not that type of business, then that typically shouldn't really excite you, because that's a lot easier to do than to grow a website with very little resources, starting from scratch, zero traffic, zero infrastructure, zero links, zero authority, zero strategy. So what you want to try and do when you're looking at the case studies is just mentally start thinking about, okay, what size of business was that? How much budget did they have? Are they similar to me? Because then you get an understanding of what type of expert you're dealing with. It could be an expert that is used to working with bigger sites, bigger budgets, more resources, or it's an expert that's actually really good in the trenches, really good with starter site. And if you're a business at the starter stage, then obviously finding an expert that has done that before with thin resources and zero traffic is probably more along the lines of what you're looking for. So think about what stage you're at, look at their case studies, evaluate their case studies based on the resources and the stages of website the clients were at, and then take a call. Okay, and then number 5 is don't be scared to ask questions. When you're speaking to agency or freelancer, ask questions. Hopefully by being able to get smarter in the topic and understand what you want, then you should be in a position to ask them questions. Go deep, ask them about clients, ask them about their process, ask them about their onboarding process, ask them about communication, ask them about what happens if things go wrong, how do you guys react? Like, go deep. Like, don't be shy to ask them questions. Like, don't be scared. You're completely entitled to do so. And frankly, you should get pretty good gut feeling about the person that you're speaking with if they get really defensive when you ask them questions, because the whole point is that they should be approachable, they should be friendly, you want to get on with this person. And if you're a person that likes to ask questions and this person is not reacting well when you do so, then that's probably not someone that you want to work with. So try and get smart on the topic and make sure that you note down 5-6 questions around their experiences and what their plan is for your job. And then that should give you a good understanding of what you're about to get involved in. So yeah, these are my 5 tips about hiring an SEO expert. It could be an agency or a freelancer. They've both got their pros and cons. I think overall, the main kind of takeaway is, do your own research, get smart on the topic, don't go into negotiations completely uneducated, and just take some time up front to understand the topic a bit more before you start going out and looking for people. Because I've seen it many times, as I mentioned in the introduction of this video, there's people that go out there with a healthy budget and not a lot of knowledge, and they just get ripped off. And I actually really don't want to see that happen. So get smart. And if you've got any questions, fill out the form in my description. I will speak with you completely free of charge. I will even help you hire someone and make sure that you get pointed in the right direction. So if you like this video, give it a like. If you want to watch more of my videos, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye.